Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful and we're beautiful and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the Spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the Act Man yet again. For those who don't know, he is a YouTuber in the content creator space. He is somebody that has a proclivity for woke commentary. And by woke commentary, I mean almost always he's coming out to try to defend bad decisions within the video game industry and trying to excoriate people that notice this. Doesn't have any of that same ire or outrage or condemnation for the companies that are making these bad decisions or the people they're in. No, it's mostly, I'd say about 95% reserved for the people that are noticing this. And so, in this case, Melody Mack, who is another content creator, posted that she was aware of the fact that the new redesign for Master Chief, she thinks that it has a more feminine body. She thinks that it looks less intimidating, and she did a couple other posts about this, saying that she thinks that the old design was more masculine and looked better. And I gotta say, I don't think she's necessarily wrong. I think the old design looked cooler. I think obviously there's more bulk to it. But she's perfectly entitled to her opinion. That's what she sees. But it's the Act Man here that takes great exception to this. The Act Man takes great exception to this, going so far as to say, I'm usually a big advocate for the mentally disabled, but this take is so dog shit, I have to make an exception. So, because Melody Mack noticed something that the Act Man clearly has a problem with, she's mentally disabled. Do you start to get a picture about what just an irredeemable, low IQ pile of trash you're dealing with here? This is not a guy who is serious in any degree, and he is woke. You can split hairs and talk about definitions and stuff, but when you're one of these parasites on the internet that are more outraged at other content creators that are just expressing their opinions and preferences, you're more angry at them than the companies that are doing these dog shit decisions that are bad for the consumer, bad for the investor, bad for the company, bad for the devs, bad for everyone. Melody Mack made an opinion on the internet, and this guy cares more than the people that could potentially lose their jobs and careers over this. So, if you want to know what my opinion about the Act Man is, that's pretty much sums it up. But I'm going to add a cherry on top, because Dr. Disrespect actually gave a pretty good monologue about the Act Man, and I think it fits very, very well. So if you don't mind, we're going to listen to this real quick, and then I will continue on to elaborate on my thoughts on this particular interaction.
The Act Man, Dr. Disrespect has brain damage. See, look at this. This is these people are depressed. I don't know this guy. You know what I mean? Doesn't know me, doesn't know my family, nothing. But he has to make content. He has to drop my name and make stupid ass freaking videos like this. Dr. Disrespect has brain damage. Like YouTube. Like, you're demonetizing me, man. Like, if we always stay in our lane. But depressed people, I mean, just look at this background and everything, little toys, and, I mean, maybe we gotta watch out for this guy, right? I mean, just look at him. I mean, give me a freaking break, man. Anyways, what if, like I say, we stay in our lane, and these people, they have to get some sort of, it's like a satisfaction thing. I don't know what it is, where they have to worry about someone else or be concerned about someone else, except themselves. Because if you take a look at him and his room setup Clearly, there's a level of deeper depression that exists with this guy. We're talking no real life experience, right? I don't see it. Like, what kind of stories can he tell me that's gonna fucking make me entertained, that's gonna inspire me? Like, look at this guy. And he's got a large community, and you're just gonna put out a video, Dr. Disrespect has brain damage. YouTube, like, Pac-Man fell off. I mean, shit, what did he fall off of? It couldn't have been too tall. His mom still makes some pepperoni rolls. All right, guys. Anyways, Doc, how come you don't lash out? How come, these are the people. Why would I fucking be concerned or care about these people? They cannot survive without the drama. It's just prolapse with the Fight Out of the Nation. I mean, I guess that's their whole shtick, is other people's drama. Why don't you do something unique, build something unique? My planet, right?
Yeah, so essentially Doc there is making a good point. The Act Man exists purely for the outrage, the clicks, and all that stuff, because I've seen his content. He's not good enough to be compelling and captivating enough on his own. And so inevitably what happens is you get these people and they just come out with this sort of just ridiculous content that is derived of, oh, this person has a difference of opinion, so they're mentally retarded and mentally ill. Like, if I use that as a line, it's usually in the course of explaining the deeper context about where the problem arises. Like, I'm explaining something and then I'll lay out the fact that they seem like they're mentally ill. The Act Man doesn't do that. He just simply throws out these accusations. Now, Melanie Mack, she has her opinions and she can view this in any way she wants. But I find it to be so fascinating that people like the Act Man get genuinely more upset and more outraged at Melanie Mack having an opinion. And it's not one that's mentally disabled. It's not one that's particularly retarded. I look at this and I go, the new design doesn't look that great. It does look like he's far less bulky. It looks like they've tried to slim down the design, which is a more feminine option. That's what you usually get in games like this. So, I don't think that it's ridiculous what she's saying at all. But the Act Man comes out with this because he is somebody who is extremely woke. And when you are extremely woke, you look at the people that are criticizing these things and you go after them. Because you defend it because you agree with it. Just be honest about the fact. I would have more respect for the Act Man if you were just honest about it. But he plays this game, oh, I'm not woke. I'm just waiting for the perfect woke game to come out. No. No, the reality is, and by the way, the Act Man chose that one post to try to dunk on. But if you go to Melanie Mack's, you go to her Twitter, older game had better art with inferior tech. So she's pointing out the fact that this doesn't look as good as this. And you know what? She's actually got a point. I think this one does look better. I think this one just doesn't do it for me. It's too generic. It's too slimmed down. It's not really unique at all. Like, this is iconic Master Chief. This does seem like a massive downgrade. So if you want to basically come in and shit on her for having an opinion, that's fine. But if you go through her timeline, she's been talking about this. She has different opinions on this. Master Chief is supposed to be huge. Here's me at 5'7" with a 1-to-1 size needler for scale. The last Unreal Engine teaser isn't doing him justice. So she's criticizing this, and unlike the Act Man, she's coming up with actual critiques. Size comparison with the new one. So she's coming up with actual critiques for this, and the Act Man is coming out and treating her like she's some retard. And the thing is, You can disagree with her point of view. You can disagree with her perspective. That's perfectly fine. You may think that this one looks better. You may think that the old one doesn't look as good. That's a perfectly valid opinion. But for people like the Ackman, they screenshot this. First of all, he doesn't have the balls to tag her in his post, which is just so telling about what a giant estrogen bomb this Lurch cosplayer is. He's such a weak, pathetic loser. He wants to virtue signal, but he doesn't want to tag her in there. I'm usually a big advocate for the mentally disabled, but this take is so dog shit, I have to make an exception. It's really not. He's talking about the fact that this does not look like a very masculine body type. He's talking about the fact that this one looks more like an upright soldier. And of course, you've got people who are just haters, and this is what this guy feeds off of. She's never had a good take, like ever. I don't know if she plays games, because all she does is complain. Like, look, you can have disagreements with Melanie Mack, you can have a dislike for her opinion, but this fucking freak comes in there and makes a statement like this. Melanie Mack has a Twitch channel. She plays video games. This is readily available information. But you see, the Ackman comes in, like the disgusting, creepy lurch that he is. I don't know why a bunch of fake gamers are coming out of the woodwork to try and co-opt the Halo series, but these people weren't bullied enough in high school, and I aim to correct that. Dude, you're not going to bully anyone. Do I need to go back to the picture of you? You're not going to bully anyone. You're a freak. You're a low IQ, estrogen-fueled freak. You don't have a good idea to save your life. You're not very talented. You're not compelling. You can't make content without resorting to this bullshit, because it's all you are. And the dog correctly pointed out the fact that, everything about you, that's a perfect picture right there. Everything about you is just a joke. It's a joke, and not like a, wow, this guy's really funny, like he's a comedian. No, you are the punchline. Because what Melanie Mack said there is not that unreasonable. If you had a difference of opinion, if you had a different argument, you could articulate it. But you didn't do that. You said, this is just mentally retarded. She's just retarded. She's dumb. Oh, and people should be bullied in high school. I guarantee you were bullied in high school. I guarantee it. You don't become whatever the hell you are without having your head dunked in a toilet a couple times. I'm mesmerized by this guy. Because very rarely do you see somebody with just zero redeeming qualities. A person that doesn't have any sort of character or thoughts of their own. Like, a thought of your own. I think that if the Ackman had come out and said, look, I disagree with Melanie Mack, I think the new design actually looks pretty good. I think that they're actually trying to do something here. I understand that maybe the old design has more, masculine features, but they're going for a different direction. Like, if he had actually come out with a thoughtful opinion, I wouldn't be doing this video. But this guy doesn't have a thoughtful opinion. He doesn't have a thought. The only thing that he does is react instinctually against people who criticize wokeness because he himself is woke. He is a giant sack of estrogen-laced shit. And so, there's not really much else to say on it. This guy demonstrates every day why people like him should be mocked and ridiculed, and the ones who should actually be bullied. Because this guy doesn't have an ounce of authenticity, integrity, or honesty. He doesn't have an original idea to save his life. He's not talented enough to exist on his own in the content creator space. So, he says things like that to try to gin up, some kind of support through hatred, and I'm just here to laugh. I'm here to laugh at this guy. because he's such a pathetic clown, and it's so ridiculous. I did a reaction to the Halo launch, relaunch trailer, and that trailer was dismal. It was disappointing. It was lackluster. They didn't really have any new ideas. There was no innovation. There was no drive to bring this to the next level. The aesthetics were meh. They weren't even that spectacular. Like, the entire thing felt disappointed. But this guy feels called and compelled to shit on other people talking about this rather than addressing the people that are actually causing the problem. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.